Hey, what's going on, everybody? We made it to Thursday, and we talked a lot, man. We talked a little bit about who gets a foul ball at a ball game, when who has the right to the ball when it flies into the stands. We also talked to George Lopez, and of course, relationships. Michael Bean was on, and then we talked a lot about relationships. Let's see what happened. I have been waiting to talk to you guys about this for a couple of weeks now. I wanted it to cool off a little bit because some of my friends that I grew up with still listen to the show online. So I had to let it cool off a little bit before I tell it. Okay. A good friend of mine, and he is a good friend of mine, his wife got some photos of him messing with another woman. So he was cheating on his wife. The woman he was messing around with, her husband, I guess, caught them together and sent the photos that he took of them together to his wife. Now, she confronted him with this, right? And this idiot, I shouldn't call him an idiot because she believes him, but this idiot told his wife that they were AI photos. He said they were doctored photos. He's not messing around on her. And that the guy who sent them just has beef with him for another reason. I didn't get what the other reason is. But she believed him. Now, this idiot, he got away with it so far. Up to this point, his wife believes that the photos of him with this other woman are AI, artificial intelligence. They're doctored. They're not real. Now, AI is going to change the world in a way that will never, it's going to be tough, right? To understand if something's real or not. We already see it. I mean, in social media posts, we already see it online. They make movies, AI movies now that are tough to understand if they're real or not, right? I don't really pay that close attention to it because it's not, to me, I don't know. To me, I don't care. But can you tell if it's AI or not? Now, I do pay attention to AI when it comes to how it's going to change the world. You know, is AI going to take over the planet like a Terminator movie and then kill off all the humans? Or is AI going to destroy, human life, which I think is stupid. I don't believe that. But are you guys scared of AI? I mean, I don't even know. The conversation about AI is the one I wanted to have, but I think it's just funny that my friend of mine used AI as an excuse to get away with cheating, and so far it's working for him. What do you guys think about AI? Do you think it's really going to be detrimental to society? I mean, my buddy used it to get out of a cheating scandal with his wife. RD4254 7 Good morning, Nat. What's going on?
Yeah, you're talking about AI?
Yeah, what do you got, bro?
So I was just talking about this with my buddies the other day. I think it's making everybody incredibly lazy, like stupid lazy. An example I have is like at work. A lot of my coworkers, they like to use AI to draft their emails. I understand, like, it's mundane, having to do our job gets a little boring.
Yeah.
But what it does is, like, whenever we're in like a big meeting with HR or we're having meeting with our union,
okay,
their critical thinking is just gone.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I was talking to somebody and that's what they were saying. They were saying people are becoming stupider because of AI. The generations are becoming dumber because AI does the work for them. And like you just said, no critical thinking, no problem-solving skills. They're losing all that. Yeah, I agree with you. All right.
Like, these people haven't watched Terminator enough, man. I grew up, Sarah Connor would be shaking her head at us. She'd be embarrassed. You guys need to watch those movies again. Don't trust the machine.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Have a good one.
And I will say this. This is what I want to say that along with that is, we talk about computers taking over. And like he just said, the Terminator, right? We watch movies where computers take over the world and humans are fighting for survival. But, and this is going to sound nutty and be a little bit, might be over your head a little bit, but the computers have already taken us over. The iPhones, the cell phones are so much like a drug that people actually lose it if they can't get on their phones or they can't get on social media. The computers have already brainwashed the human race and have taken over. Even though it's not in the same way that you see in the movies, it's not in the same way that you see where the computers are just running everything and they got their own little robot army and the humans are fighting for survival in a military way like they do in the Sarah Connors or the whatevers. But you're already been taken over. I mean, you guys are already controlled by a robot, by technology with your phones. And if you think you're not, you're stupid, because you are. You're just in denial in the same way that a person who's hooked on drugs or alcohol would say, I'm not a druggie, I'm not an alcoholic, because you are. You're hooked on your phones. And it's the world that we live in right now. So I would argue that the computers have already taken over. The problem is, are they going to wipe you out like in these Terminator movies, right? I don't know. Are you afraid of AI? I don't know if you should be or not. But it is making you dumber. AI is definitely making you dumber. Yeah. But then again, you have to make the other argument for AI. If I can just look something up on how to do it and then do it, why do I need to solve the problem on my own? If I do this, I still do this, right? I have conversations about certain things like, oh, how many Super Bowls did, Tom Brady win? Or whatever, a question like that. I don't go to AI to look at the answer if I don't know it. I try to figure it out. But I'll be sitting next to a friend who would just go right to, I had that conversation this morning. Now we were talking about something from music. We were talking about how old Lisa was. I was trying to do the math in my head about last time, blah, blah, blah. The guy next to me just looked it up. Oh, she's this age. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know necessarily what's, I guess I can stand on both sides of the fence. But I don't believe AI is going to take me over. I don't think it's going to take over the world, in the way that you see in Terminator. Let's see here. You sent me something about my buddy. Good morning, Rome. I really hope that lady's not listening to the radio because now she's going to know her husband was cheating. No, she's not listening to my show. Hold on. Let me get this phone call and I'll explain. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Romeo, the only people that have to fear AI is the smart people, the geeks and the nerds.
Why is that?
Because, before I got a friend that went to school 4 years for computer tech. He can design stuff, and he's been replaced by AI. Oh. Not only that, all these people that thought they were smart, I can just use AI and be just as smart of them. Raider Dave got the advantage now on them. All these smart guys.
Okay.
I have nothing to fear. It's made me smarter. It's made me more advanced. So,
but you don't for AI. But you don't think AI is going to take control of the world and become some crazy thing that runs us, right?
I don't think so. Only because even though it is smart technology, they don't have that gut instinct. They don't know how to,
What about all the jobs? They're worried it's going to take over all the jobs, and nobody's going to be able to.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to take over the smart and the nerds. The nerds are going to be out of business, but us hard workers that still change tires and still work, labor jobs, we're all right.
What about robot AIs? They got robots now to do that stuff.
Yeah, but it's not going to work. It's not going to be the same.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm not scared of AI either, Dave. I'm not. It doesn't scare me at all.
Because I don't think AI could be as funny as you, or
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
No, there it is there. And it can't be as annoying as Raider Dave, so we're safe.
And
be
it,
all right.
definitely can't be as dumb as Siog Lu, so we are good.
We are safe. Us three are guaranteed future jobs.
All right, get
There
out
we
of here,
go.
Raider Day. Anyway, oh my gosh. So back to what I was, somebody said that he hopes the lady's not listening. What happened was a friend of mine, and he's in Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta with his wife. So he was cheating on his wife, and I believe he was cheating. But anyway, the husband of the woman he was cheating with took photos and sent them to my friend's wife, and he just told his wife it was AI. Those are AI photos. They're not real. Somebody's, hey, this guy doesn't like me. He's trying to get even with me for some reason. And she believed him. So, but AI, a lot of people are afraid of AI, losing their jobs. They're afraid they're going to turn into Terminators and take over the world. And I doubt. I mean, you guys got to stop listening to these idiots who think AI, because we could still just unplug it. Just like a computer. Just, we're back to business, right? All right, 842-547-7. So it's Romeo. I was telling you about a buddy of mine. He got, I think he got caught. His wife believes him though, but he was messing around with some lady. The lady's husband caught him, caught pictures of him, sent it to his wife, my friend's wife. He just told her it was AI, and she believed him. She believed him. It's crazy. Already 42547-7. Hey, Rome, you don't think AI is going to take your job? No. AI can have my job. You know what it's like dealing with you fools all the day, all this time? Yeah, I could have my job, but no, AI is not taking my job. I mean, come on now. Are you guys worried about AI? And I mean, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. Are you worried about the fact that it's going to take your job? Are you worried about the fact that it's going to take over the world? It's smarter than us. So what? It's still just a machine. Okay, you guys got to stop watching Terminator and all these ridiculous movies that make it seem. If anything, AI is going to do, it's already have done, and that's with your cell phones. Your cell phones control you, and if you don't think they do, you're just in denial. But your cell phones control you. So technology is already winning. You know, the one thing it is doing is it's making people stupider, dumber. And it did say that I saw a story the other day that said women are the ones that are going to be affected the most. The effects of AI on working lives of women. It's women, I guess, that are going to be affected the most when it comes to AI. Women face higher workplace risks when it comes to AI. So it's interesting. Hey, Rome. I've caught AI lying numerous times, which makes me wonder how many times have I believed something it told me that I didn't know. Well, the thing about AI you have to understand is it depends on who programs it. I know exactly what you're talking about. There are different AIs that will tell you different things because of the beliefs of the human that programmed it. So that's what you think you think AI is going to take over humans? No. You gotta be, you can't be that stupid. It's not gonna kill all the human beings. It's not gonna take over the human race. It's just gonna be there in the same way. It's just gonna make you dumber is what it's gonna do.
Hey, what's up, Roman Seahawk Lou?
What up, Lou?
Hey, I gotta disagree with you on the AI stuff.
Well, that's because you're a moron.
No, it's because I got proof, man. I was in LA a couple weeks ago, and I ordered a ride, and it was one of those cars that drive themselves.
Oh, a Waymo? A Waymo? Yeah.
Yeah, a Waymo.
Okay.
That's AI.
I get it, but it's still the technology. Those things just blocked up a street in Texas for like 15 hours because they all came to the same spot at the same time. They're not perfected nowhere near enough to take over the world, and they probably won't be.
Yeah, nah, probably not the world, but the majority of like big cities, maybe Bakersfield, not Wasco. Definitely not Wasco. Yeah, and then also, hey, I ordered some food on DoorDash, and it was like a little robot came to the door.
I seen that clown. I was in LA a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that thing going down the street, and it got stuck. So give me a break. You guys, you know what? All right, Lou. All
right, Ro.
All right. I mean, I think AI is going to do some things, but it's not going to control the world like you guys see in some sort of silly movie, you know? Hey, what up, Rome? All I can say is that my job can't my coworker's job for sure, because AI definitely isn't going to kiss my boss's ass. Oh, yeah. AI will take over some jobs, but it's not going to control the world. There are people that think the end of the world is coming because of AI. And that these robots it's going to become sentient? Is that what it means? It's going to think for itself. It's going to become its own. No, it won't. You know, it's not, it's still just a machine. That's all it is. Now, it may be able to scour the internet faster, but it's not finding anything that a human hasn't already programmed. That's the thing. It's not going to become some sort of its own thing and take over the world like you see in the movies. It's not. What you need to be afraid of more than AI is these cell phones and how all of you cannot get off your freaking phone. I would be more worried about that. Oh, we got George Lopez with us this morning. He is a legend in comedy and television and movies. He's going to be at the Fox Theater Saturday, May 16th. Good morning, George.
Good morning. You know, it's always when I see people, man, they always go, "Hey, George Lopez." It's never just George. I think from the show, the first show, hey, get out of the way, George Lopez.
You know, well, it's funny. I know you won't remember because you've met thousands, millions of people. We met in Sacramento a long time ago when I first got into radio at KSFM. And it's been a long time, man. Your career is it's incredible how much you've done.
You, man. Even in the beginning, man, there was no kind of template for us,
Yeah.
So as you kept going, you would be like, oh, you could do that. Like, I didn't ever think about having one show, much less like five, man. I mean, it was every day I trip out on it, man, because it's like I never imagined it would go like this.
You know, I was gonna, and what are you most proud of, George? I mean, you've done it all. You did a TV show with your latest one was with your daughter, I believe, if I remember correctly. Then you had the one before that, which was, oh my God, that one was so funny. What was the one before that?
The one on TV Land?
Yeah.
It was more like a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, that one was great. Oh my gosh, that one was so good. So what are you most proud of? I mean, you've been doing stand-up forever. You're a legend. I don't want to pigeonhole you, but as a Mexican comedian, you are one of the greatest. If not, I wouldn't even know who's accomplished more than you.
Oh, thank you, man. You know what? I think there's two answers. I think doing the show with Mayan was pretty much beyond my imagination, and it's funny, man, being, working with your daughter, that when I would see her every day, my mind would see her being born and see her at 2
Wow.
and see her at 5 and then see her as this woman. So I would say, because it's hard enough to get a show on your own, much less bring your kid with you. Everybody takes their kids everywhere, but I mean, and then I think personally on the other side of it, I think the start on the Walk of Fame in 2006 was pretty big.
Oh, that's so impressive. I mean, the thing, George, is I saw you when you were first starting in the comedy clubs, and now all these years later, it's incredible to be there in the beginning and see it all. See
man,
someone.
Back then, Sacramento was awesome, man. It was just, those things too, like all the radio relationships you made, and all the clubs and stuff. It's like, if you're fortunate enough to have people come and see you, it's easy to get better, man. But sometimes when I think about things, and I'll tell somebody, man, I don't know if I would have had the heart for it if I hadn't have become successful. Like how much do you take before you say, I think wrap this up.
Well, how did you do it though, George? With this idea, these comedians coming out today, they go put a little clip on YouTube and then their Instagram or TikTok, and all of a sudden they get a show. You were fighting for a space that just wasn't there when you started.
Yeah. It's definitely way different. You know, one time I was doing a View, and they had some like influencers go before me, and they're like, they're gonna go before you. There's maybe 3 of them, and I said, then you'll be the second guest. I said, yeah, oh, all right. But then, as they were on, they had nothing to really contribute other than whatever video they showed.
Yeah.
So they kind of ran out of like steam there. And then when I went out there, you know, it's all prepared and everything, you know, and they were like, man, that's eye-opening, you know, that you put 3 of them out there, and all they're about is what they video.
Yeah. All right, so hold on, George, a second. We got more with George Lopez. He's going to be at the Fox Theater May 16th. And get your tickets now. That's a Saturday. George Lopez is here. He's going to be at the Fox Theater Saturday, May 16th. And you were fighting when there were only a couple of top comedians back in the 80s and 90s when there wasn't room for everybody. Nobody got a TV show like you did.
Yeah.
It's
you know, the craziest thing is, you know, I saw a picture of Led Zeppelin, you know, walking, you know, down this hallway backstage, and I said, it looks a little bit now because it's been so long, man, like 50 years. Like, those dudes walk the earth, you know, like somebody said, it used to be dinosaurs, or they fly around. and then you see these guys, and you're like, man, like, I was alive. I knew Richard Pryor. You know, I saw Rodney Dangerfield. I saw all these old dudes that aren't around anymore. But when I was growing up, like, those were the guys that everybody tried to be, you know, the guys that we trying to look at.
But now you're one of those guys. If you put it into context moving forward, you're now one of those guys, one of those iconic comedians now that are still around. And
you know, I think, Romeo, I think in all the things that I've done, I think, you know, in movies, you know, they you know, Robert Rodriguez, I did movies with Shark Boy with him, and when every time I messed up, he'd go, come over here, let me show you. So he'd show me in the monitor where I messed up, and he'd be like, all right, don't do that. And I'd be like, oh, dude, it's like a dog, man. They bring you to the cat guy, hey, don't ever do this again. And I was like, man, I gotta go over there. He goes, come on, I just want to show you real quick. And you're like, oh my God, like, so I think stand-up is the freest form of I think that's why I think it's elevated comedians, and there's a lot of, you know, there's a Netflix festival where comedians do the Hollywood Bowl now. You know, me and Santana did the Hollywood Bowl in 2009, which does not even sound like it's almost 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. What do you think about comedy today now? What do you think about it after all these years of being in it and being, you know, a pioneer to an extent of some of it? What do you think about comedy today?
You know, Romeo, I wish one thing. I wish the times were different. I wish there wasn't so much like division and so much like people hating on each other, man, and all the things that people, you know, get bullied on the internet, and you know, they're not prepared for it. But I just think that I just wish the times were different. Like, we were living in a happier time. I mean, you do it all these years, and then when you want to kind of wrap it up, it's crazier than it was at any other time in your career. It's almost like you're almost forced to go out there.
Oh yeah. You're back on tour? Are you back on tour now, George?
Yeah.
And what's next for you? You still looking at more shows? You still looking at more movies, or what you
I don't know,
going
I
on?
think, you know, I did a podcast, just like a smaller one, so I think we're looking at one legitimately like larger in scale, you know, with an executive producer and everything, you know, because they become almost they're shows now. They're not even podcasts anymore. I mean, they're larger than shows. You know, they tour with podcasts and stuff like that. So I think maybe less road, and maybe if that thing works out, which everybody, you know, has done so many things, I would say, you know, you get an opportunity that might be a mixture of both of them. Because, you know, I'd like to be home a little bit more. I think Bakersfield and the Fox always been one of my favorite places. But I mean, you know, as you're older, man, you're like, man, go out here.
Yeah, I think the last time you were at the Fox, I actually was walking in, and you were just standing on the sidewalk. You're just standing right out front of the Fox, just I don't know. You're just hanging out.
I think I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that.
What are you doing here?
It's funny because you never think that anybody would recognize you, man. And in the beginning, I went to Chicago was really cool to me, so I went over there for this lady, the general manager, because I called all the general managers the summer before my show went on because I heard that Drew Carey did it, and it helped him. You make a relationship with all the general managers. Yeah. I sat there and called all the general managers. So when I was in Chicago, I look up and there's an Indian family, from India, and it's a husband and a wife and a son and daughter, and I see them on the moving escalator, and then I'm kind of looking down. It's early Sunday morning, and I see their feet, and I look up, and the husband says, "My son said that you are the man," and I said, I'm one of them, and he's like, no, that you have a television show. I said, yeah. I said, I do. Because he saw it. He likes it. We took a picture with my family, and I was like, wow, man. I mean, that's that was the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah. You've always been very accessible, though. I think over the years, you've always been very accessible to the fans and been around.
I think the thing, and you know this because, there's a personality for radio. There's things, and the fact that everything I've done has my name. I think people think that when I do something, like, that's who I am, but it's not. It's like, it's like an actor goes, oh man, that guy's mean to his mom. It's like, no, it's not mean.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, George Lopez, I'm so glad you spent time with us this morning. We can't wait to see you May 16th. He's going to be over at the Fox Theater. Make sure you guys get your tickets now. You don't want to miss out. I'd ask what's new, George, but I'm guessing whatever you're going to bring is going to be funny no matter what.
So it's great. It's really great, man. I've been out there working on it. We're actually considering maybe even potentially looking at like a one-man show. So this is a little more personal, but it's still got some bang to it.
That's great. Thanks for spending time with us this morning, George. George Lopez. We'll see you at the Fox Theater on the 16th. That's a Saturday. Thanks, George. Again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Romeo, appreciate it, dude.
I was at the ball game, the Dodger game, and what is the deal with these foul balls? What is the deal with home runs and foul balls? When they go into the stands, my understanding was it was just a free-for-all. You're not supposed to knock over a little kid or an old lady to get the ball, but is everything else fair game? When I was a kid, everything was fair game at the ball game. Okay? I don't know what it is now. What's the rules? I mean, you would be sitting there at the game the other night I was at. You would be sitting there and a ball would fly right at your face. And if somebody stuck their hand up and grabbed it before you did, that was their ball. And there was nothing wrong with it. There was no problem. They didn't do anything wrong. Or if a guy stuck a glove up or a girl stuck a glove up. Normally what would happen is this. Here's the other thing that would happen. The ball, okay, so just an example, right? A kid's sitting there. Ball's coming straight at his face. Guy stops it. Girl stops. Pick whoever stops it and catches it, right? Normally, whether they were the kid's mom or dad or not, they would give the kid the ball. That was kind of how it worked, okay? Kids were the ones that always were the more important factor at the ball game. Now, it seems like you got these dumbass human adults, men and women, who are either just so damn selfish or so damn something that they gotta have. It's a freaking baseball. Unless Ohtani just hit it out to win the World Series, okay, I get it. Now we got more complications for these balls that actually mean something in the sports industry, in the sports memorabilia world. Now that does change this idea of things happening. But just a ridiculous foul ball, the way that these people fight over them is kind of silly. But on top of that, it's not even, to me, growing up, it wasn't even fighting over it. You were just whoever got it first. It was a mad dash for the ball. Whoever got it, got it. I mean, as long as you weren't elbowing and punching somebody to get a ball, it was whoever got it, got it. I mean, have the rules changed? What? I don't understand it. What's going on here? I mean, you guys are baseball fans. You guys go to a lot of Dodger games. You guys go to a lot of ball games. You know, what do you do when a ball comes? Usually it was when it used to be back in the day, actually when I was a kid, went to more baseball games, it was more of self-preservation, the ball coming straight at you. Now, it's a trophy, I guess. A meaningless trophy for the most part, unless you, like I said, unless you catch Ohtani's, home run breaking ball that's worth $1 million or something silly like that. But I don't get it. I don't get what. I guess I just don't get the rules today when it comes to a ball out of play at a baseball game. I don't get the rules. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Everybody gets mad. If I catch a ball, if a ball is coming at you and I stick my hand out and grab it, you're the bad guy? I'm the bad guy because you didn't stick your hand out to grab it faster than me? I don't get that. Because I always thought it was fair play. Once the ball, and don't let the ball hit the bleachers, then it's a mad dash on the ground, right? It's like when a piñata breaks. Hey, it's all fair game. At least that's what I thought. Did you see all these people crying on social media or crying on the internet? Oh my God, they took my foul ball. Oh, did they really? Or were you just not quick enough to get it? I mean, what are the rules? 842-547-7. So when it comes to the baseball games or whenever they're throwing stuff into the crowd, what are the rules, man? It seems like everybody cries if they don't get one or if somebody gets it before them, but I always thought it was a free-for-all. I mean, outside of shoving a little kid or an old lady, I thought it was always a free-for-all, but I was at the Dodger game. And yeah, they were fighting. They were getting mad at each other, yelling at each other, although it was the Dodger game. 842-547-7, Rome. I feel like it's the first one to get it. Unless it's with a kid, then the kid deserves that ball. I've thrown them back. They mean nothing. Yeah, they really do. Foul balls mean nothing. I mean, maybe if you catch that one home run ball that sets the record for home runs or wins a World Series or something to that effect that has some memorabilia status, I get that, I guess, but they're stupid. I mean, they're ridiculous. It's just a baseball. So, but what are the rules? I mean, if you catch it, here's the question. If it's about to hit somebody in the face because they don't have the reflexes to stop it or move or they don't see it, then you've done a good deed, right? But if everybody's going for it and you reach your hand out and they don't reach out at all for it, it's supposed to be theirs. I don't know what the rules are. I really don't. And I think it's funny when I see people arguing about it or when I see people, yelling at somebody else because, well, maybe you should have been quicker. Isn't that the game? You throw a t-shirt in the crowd or when the thing drops the ticket from what is the thing? I think the Condors have something that drops the ticket if they still do that. I don't know if they do that anymore. A blimp flies around the arena and drops a ticket. Isn't it whoever grabs it first in any situation? I mean, unless you're physically harming somebody, I don't understand. So if I put my hand in front of yours and you don't put your hand out at all, that's wrong? RD42547. What are the rules? What are the rules when it comes to that? Hey, Romeo, I got to tell you this one. I took the wife and kids out to a Dodger game one time, and we were paying attention. A ball came right at one of my kids, and I was talking to my wife over here looking the other way, and luckily the guy behind me or behind my kid reached his hand over, grabbed the ball. My kid would have got straight clocked had this guy not been trying to go for that ball. So I think that anyone who can get the ball first, especially if you're going to catch it, deserves it. The great thing about the guy was he gave the ball to my son. So I guess it really worked out for everybody. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually when it comes to kids, right? You guys are so worried about a ball as an adult. I mean, what kind of selfish, pathetic adult do you got to be that you got to get this foul ball at a baseball game, and that's just, you're pathetic. Give it to the kid, I mean, that was good that he gave it to the kid, but I agree with you. I would just think whoever can catch the ball first gets the ball, regardless. I mean, as long as you're not shoving somebody aside to grab it, right? I don't know. It just seems like there's too much controversy over a foul ball in baseball nowadays. People are fighting about it online, at the stands. Well, it was the Giants and the Dodgers, so people are fighting in the stands now anyways. Hey, Romeo, one time at a Dodger game, what happened one time at a Dodger game? One time at a Dodger game, my younger brother was going for a foul ball, and this woman side-checked him. He went one way, his hat and sunglasses went another way, and knocked him to the ground. Mind you, my younger brother was an adult in his 20s. She got the ball all right, but she also realized what she did as she turned around and apologized to my brother, bought him a beer. And bought him a beer. She really wanted the ball, though. I mean, that was nice of her to at least, buy him the beer. I mean, that was something. Michael Bean is here from the Marriage and Family Center. Good morning, Michael.
Well, good morning. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
All right. We got Marriage Family Center, 661-327-5100 is the number. Michael, I don't even know what to jump into this morning. I know I was supposed to, I always tell Michael I'm going to write something down. And then I get caught up over the week talking about all this nonsense with all you people about different relationship problems that you have. And then I forget what I wanted to talk to Michael about. And I always do, Michael. But let's just break down relationships real quick. I mean, just the idea that we don't seem to be fixing our problems. I mean, we seem to be having the same issues in our relationships for decades. It doesn't seem like one thing, has anything really ever gotten solved completely to where we go, okay, we finally fixed one thing in relationships, and now we can move on to the 100 other things that we have problems with.
No, we watch communication technology and information technology and transportation technology, and we see these steep curves as it builds on itself. Yeah. And then we see this flat line of relationship technology. We're just, and it surprises us. As individuals, we get surprised just as much every time. It's like, man, I was so attracted to this person, and now we can't stand each other. What is that?
It's funny that you say that, because you remember before the internet, before cell phones, when people would get up in the morning and go to work, honey, I'll see you at 4 or 5 or whatever, they wouldn't talk to each other all day. There was no easy access. I mean, but you might make a phone call from your office to her office or his whatever, or sometimes they're just too busy. And we all thought that, oh my gosh, if we just had more time with each other to communicate, we would be better off. And now we cannot go a second without communicating with somebody if we want to, and it hasn't really made anything better.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right, and it hasn't helped anything. And everything we kind of think is going to kind of doesn't. Yeah. But it's just somehow when we have that really strong attachment in the beginning of relationships, we're on our best behavior. We're doing our very best to the other person. We're still kind of trying to prove to them that we like them and that we should be liked back, that we're worthy of their love. Yeah. And so we kind of just, and then when that initial attraction starts to kind of fade, which it always does, that honeymoon period starts to our hormones start to kind of level out a little bit. And then we start kind of taking them for granted a little bit. And it's really sad. Couples that kind of maintain that sort of just mystique and thinking about each other for more than a couple years are pretty rare. You can see it sometimes. But it's pretty rare.
Let me ask you this, Michael. And now you said something very interesting. Once the newness kind of wears off, we kind of get complacent, or we kind of take for granted. Do human beings I was trying to think of as fast as I can, of all factors of my life. Do we take everything for granted? Is that just human nature for us, no matter what? Not just a person. Do we take our jobs for granted? Do we take our friends for granted? We don't take our friends for granted in the same way, for some reason, that we take our spouse for granted. or our partner, that seems a little odd. Or am I wrong about that, Michael?
Well, I mean, we do end up treating our friends better than our partners sometimes, which is kind of blows my mind a little bit. But when you sort of think about this expectation that your partner's going to just be there, you have this kind of arrangement. Okay, well, we're sharing a house. It's not like they're going anywhere. And there's almost I don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, and I know that makes us sound terrible, but I just think, sometimes we do. We just sometimes feel.
But it is terrible.
I don't know. We get entitled. But you're right about the other. You get a new car, and for the first while, it's just like, man, I'm gonna wash this car every other day, and I'm gonna. And then, sure enough, here you are 6 months later, and it's like, well, not every day.
Not every day.
I'm gonna wash your car in a week. What are you talking about? Not every day. And that's just we do. We get used to what was once just really cool and precious and neat to us, and it just becomes ordinary over time.
All right, Michael, I want you to think about this. I got to play a song, but I want you to think about this. The idea that if we didn't take our partner for granted, if we actually spent more time being involved in our relationships, how much happier we'd be as human beings. I want you to think about that for a second. Michael Bean is here from the Marriage and Family Center. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Marriage of Family Center, 661-327-5100. Now, Michael, I want to ask you about this, and I know it's going to sound like a crazy idea, but extending the honeymoon phase into, or a version of the honeymoon phase into the rest of our lives, and actually being in a relationship where you get what you want, they get what they want, and everybody seems to be happy, and you're not really coming home to a negative house. That just seems like a crazy idea, huh?
Well, I've seen people extend the honeymoon period for sure.
Okay.
And then there's something that can approach what you're talking about that we should discuss. Extending it, I've just watched people, they'll go, oh, you know what? Look, we're starting to kind of like nitpick each other. It's starting to get kind of negative a little bit. Let's not do that. Look the way things were just, a couple of weeks ago. Let's get back to that. And then they do. And they're able to kind of sustain that and keep it going sometimes for up to another year. And, think about that. Just having that new love closeness for a whole extra year of your life, that's just awesome. So I highly recommend that. I have, helped people and counsel people and coach people to get to there. But the thing that kind of gets close to what you're talking about is rekindling it periodically. So, yes, we have been together a long time. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we it's just that a lot of that newness is gone. But let's go on a weird vacation, just the two of us, that is going to kind of help us sort of just rediscover some of that, because we're going to go do this thing together that we kind of haven't done, and we'll just kind of remember what it was like when we were just back there. And you can go revisit that and have those moments.
Well, let me take it a step further and say, when we start relationships, have moved on, now we have kids, now we got jobs, now we got responsibilities and accountabilities to things. And maybe the time we have together is a little bit different. Maybe we maybe we're not happy in certain aspects of our life. And now we start nitpicking, we start taking it out, we start not wanting to. I mean, it's something as stupid as, going and running errands together, going to the grocery store, doing the chores together. I mean, these are things that all have to get done anyways. But at some point, whoever it is goes, no, I'm too tired from work, I don't want to do it. And those things compile into he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me, there's no respect, he keeps leaving his shoes on the floor, and that I keep telling them not to. And now we're in this rut of nitpicking or arguing or getting, not really thinking that the one cares about the other. To me, those are all very little things that can add up to a bigger issue. And I don't know why it is so difficult for us to go, you know what, I'm tired, I had a hard day, but damn it, we're just going to go to the store for 20 minutes or a half hour to get groceries. I just suck it up for the betterment of the relationship for both parties.
That is a really good idea. It really is. Say yes to your partner. If your partner suggests you do something together, unless you have, because that's what you would do with a friend. If a friend asked you over to go play cards or something, you'd make sure you have a really good reason before you told them no, because you want to keep a friendship. So, hey, you know what? I got to go with my wife to go to this shower thing, and I'm sure, sorry, I'd love to come play cards. I can't do it. If you don't have that thing that you have to go do, you got to go play cards. Well, same thing in your relationship. Yes, they'll do it without you, but don't make them. Just don't make them do it. If they invited you, it's because they wanted you to go alone. Say yes.
And I know, absolutely. But that's something I think that could, those little things can add up to make a better relationship, right? And then when you look at some of the, and then the time you don't, you go, oh my God, I can't. Today's the day I can't do it. Well, you said yes the other 95 times. So I'm going to, I get it. This is the one time you can't. So I don't understand what people miss in that, why people miss that. Because sometimes the little things are more important than the bigger things. The everyday things seem to be more important than the bigger things are the date night every night. Well, you want to have date night every week so we can keep it fresh, or you can do little things every single day that keep you let him or her know how interested and how much you still care.
And what you just described is exactly the answer to, what happened to us? How did we drift apart? You missed that. You missed that thing that you just talked about where it's just kind of like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. You go ahead and you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do that. And then you do it again and it starts to become normal that you're just not doing things together. Yeah.
And then we get where we get. I just don't understand how. I guess I understand how we get there. I don't know, Michael. People are stupid. I don't get it. All right, Michael Bean is here from the Marriage and Family Center. Michael Bean is here from the Marriage and Family Center. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
All right, so we're, what is it, 661-327-5100 is Michael's number. Follow the prompts when you go through it. What were we just talking? Oh, I know what I was just going to ask you, Michael, about the complacency, entitlement, how we get there. This idea that if you just keep doing some of the little things that your partner wants, you may get more out of the relationship like you want. And is it just human nature? Who do we blame, Michael, for, and I'll use the example that we were talking about off the air, the sex. We were having sex every day. Now I have to beg for sex. I mean, is that the person's fault who's begging or the person who's not wanting? How do we get to that point? How do we get to that point in any situation?
Yeah, you did. You kind of went, well, wait a minute. If you're the one that's wanting it and you're not kind of getting it, isn't it your fault somehow for not showing up to the relationship maybe the way you used to or whatever? And honestly, if you are that person, there may be some sort of attitude shifts you can make about, what you attribute that to make it better. But really, if you're going to solve that as a couple, if you're going to actually put your two heads together and go, okay, wait a minute, this is a problem for you, so it's a problem in our relationship. So let's go to work on it. You got to get away from the whole blame thing. And in fact, I don't think it's anybody's fault, really. I think it's something that happened to the relationship where that passion kind of went down, and then the couple didn't sort of figure out how to deal with that. Fault? I don't know if that's going to be really helpful, but how about what happened?
How we got there? Michael, do most people, this is going to be a crazy question to ask you, but do most couples know what their partner wants? Like on Valentine's Day, the jewelry store tells me I got to go get her a diamond ring, and the flower company tells me I got to get her flowers, or I got to get him a drill, or I got to get him a gift. Or do we even know what our partners want? Really want? What really makes them tick?
We do. And sometimes we don't feel like we need to give them what they want. What they want, I mean, we can't give them everything they want.
Of course not.
And so, therefore, that word want is already loaded. It's like, I know they want this thing, but, I want $1 million. Okay. What is that expression they used to say? How does it feel to want?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
you want this thing, but...
I'm talking about things that out of a relationship, you go into a relationship, all I really want is, a wife who will, go play cards with me. Let's just play Uno with me once a week. Okay. Yeah. And if your wife says, well, no, I'm not going to do that because I think it's stupid. Well, all I really want is a husband who's going to, spend a little time with me when I go run some errands, be there with me in the car to talk, hold my purse when I'm trying something on. And I know those are way antiquated stereotypes, but the idea that if that's what they really want, as opposed, well, I'm going to go buy her a new handbag so that she feels better about me, and she's going, well, that's not what I really want. I really wanted you just to do this for me. I really wanted you to just spend a little time with me, or I really just want to, I want to watch the game. I'm a big sports fan, so really I just want to watch this game. You can have every other hour out of me to do whatever it is, but I want this 3 hours to watch the Dodgers play, or whatever the case may be. So when you look at things like that, that's why I asked that question. Do we really know what people want that's really going to make them feel good about who they're with?
I mean, sometimes we do. Other times they'll tell us directly, and we kind of like hear the words and we know what each of the words mean, but it sort of doesn't kind of make sense to us. Why would that be so important? I hear what you're saying to me, but I just kind of don't understand how that's so important to you. And then you go to a therapist, and then the therapist says it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's what she's been telling me. That's what she's been telling me all this time. But when you hear it from another person, all of a sudden it kind of like clicks. It's just like, I needed it from a different perspective.
To see it.
When she tells it to me, I kind of have to just scratch my head. But when you say it, I kind of go, that is really what she's really been wanting. And then she's standing there kind of just going, I've been saying that for a long time.
Well, now I got to go back to human. Are humans are we selfish by nature? Because you could sit there and go, she could tell you what she wants from you. And you can go, nah, she don't really want that. This is what she wants because society told me this is what women want. And you're going, so that's why I asked the question. I think that happens a lot. I do in relationships.
Well, I mean, we are selfish. We're also generous. So that doesn't really answer that question, It doesn't really, just saying that we're selfish kind of doesn't do that. But yeah, it is for some really weird reason easy for us to hear the words and kind of dismiss them, even though that other person is just speaking right from their heart. And then, of course, that other person doesn't feel very loved when that happens.
Yeah. So Michael Bean is here for the Marriage and Family Center, 661-327-5100, right, Michael?
That's right.
327-5100. All right, Michael, one last thing before I get you out of here. And I want to talk about people that are in relationships that don't realize, well, maybe that's it. They don't realize how much better it can be. It's just okay. She nags me all the time. He doesn't talk to me. He's always, but, we're all right. I'm like, well, it could be better. Are we just, I just don't understand why people are okay with mediocrity and or unhappiness. Is it that's worse than being alone, or that's better than being alone? Happy and alone?
Maybe for some, maybe for others, they just never really, their parents didn't emphasize their relationship a lot, so they don't. I mean, there's probably a ton of reasons.
Okay.
But you asked me during the break a really interesting question. You were like, how better could life be for people if their relationship was great?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure people really consider that and really go deep into that question. Wait a minute. What if I was really looking forward to going home. What if my partner was really looking forward to me coming home?
Especially if you don't care for your job. You know, you got a tough job, a stressful job. Maybe your coworkers suck. Maybe maybe you had a bad day. You spilled a cup of coffee on yourself, and all of a sudden, but you're just sitting there going, "You're right, Michael." Like you just said, I can't wait to get home. She's waiting for me. He's waiting for. It's going to be great. She's going to make everything better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get a dog.
You can. Well, at least it'll wag its tail and be excited.
Always excited when you. That's all I say. Dogs are always excited when you know. Nobody should ever mistreat their dog, because that's the one living thing in your house that is waiting for you to come home every single day.
Yeah. Well, things can get better. They absolutely do. I've seen it happen in just hundreds of lives. It's been an amazing career for me, and I just have really appreciated that moment where a couple kind of turns the corner and realizes, oh, wait a minute, it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to be at each other's throats arguing on pins and needles. People are like walking on eggshells. They're like, as soon as I say the wrong thing, terribly. Yeah. That's a horrible way to live, and it's not necessary.
Now, I will say this, and I want to say this before you get out of here, Michael. When people are listening to this and they're thinking, you know what, that's kind of my relationship and my marriage right now, it can be fixed. Yeah. If you were happy once, I believe if you were happy at one point, you can get back there with a little bit of work. Would you agree to that, Michael, or disagree with that?
Well, with two caveats. One is we both know people who never should have gotten together in the first place, right?
Yep.
It's like, what were you two thinking?
Yeah.
And the other one is, like we talked about also, people change. And sometimes, people really do make real changes in their desires, values, personalities in a way that just makes them we're not really a fit anymore. So those two possibilities can happen. But if the change is, they're just not really into me anymore, I just don't really feel loved by them, and I'm not really feeling super connected. If that's the change, almost always that can be fixed.
Okay. All right, Michael Bean, Marriage and Family Center, the Marriage and Family Center, 661-327-5100. Michael, we'll talk to you next week, okay?
We'll talk to you then. Take care.
All right, 842-54-7-7. Ruben, what'd you send me, Ruben? And Ruben says, hey, Rome, our washer broke, waiting for them to repair it. So we had to go. Can I just tell you a funny story about a washer, though? That's how stupid I am. My washer broke. And I never wanted to get rid of my washer. It was an old school washer. It was great. And when I went to buy one, the guy goes, well, what size do you need? I said, size? I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, do you want a washer that's big enough to wash your comforters and your blankets? And I said, hell yeah. I had no idea that I could buy one of those, a washer big enough for my home. I always thought you just had to go to the laundromat. No clue. That's how stupid I am. All right. So I bought one big enough so I don't have to go to the laundromat no more. All right. Sorry, Ruben. What are you saying here? So we had to go to the laundromat. I ran into this guy that was pretty upset because he had to go with his wife to the laundromat. I told him it was no big deal. No big deal. You said, but I work all day. And I told him I did too. And I told you. You bet if your buddies invited you out over drinking, you'd go. He said, hell yeah, I would. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Going to the laundromat. I mean, you're right. There's just things, and I feel bad for you people in these relationships where you're not getting your needs met. You think your wife's a jackass or your husband's an a-hole. Well, it's because of things like that. You don't want to go to the laundromat. You don't want to do the little things that are just, you got to do them. And I guess that makes you stupid. And I don't know why you can't figure it out to be happier. All right, 842-54-7-7. Romeo. Hey, Rome, why are you so harsh on us when it comes to our relationships? Relationships are tough. And you talk to Michael Bean about everything, and you act like you just know it all. Well, because you guys are stupid. Look what Ruben just texted. His wife asked him to go to the laundromat because their washer broke, right? Okay, you got to go sit at the laundromat with your wife. So what? Okay. Oh, I'm too tired. I worked all day. Like he said, he ran into a guy who was upset that he had to go with his wife. Now, for the guy that Ruben was talking to, He's mad at his wife for dragging him to the laundromat. Okay? I can guarantee you that's what's going on in his head. That's stupid. It's your stuff too. It's not just her stuff. So it's stupid for you to be upset about that. You dirty clothes too. So what? You work. Go sit at the laundromat. You're going to just sit on your phone anyways and watch something, right? I mean, it's just, that's why I say you're stupid. It's not that complicated. And it's really not that complicated, like Ruben just said, because if you just change the parameters, oh, I just had a tough day at work, a long, hard day at work. Your wife wants you to go do something with her. That's not work. But if your buddies ask you to go drink some beers, which is not work, you'll go do it every time. But you don't want to go with your wife just to run a few errands or go sit at the lunch. I mean, that's my point. That's why I say you guys are stupid. And part of it is I have been talking to Michael for a lot of years about relationships. And the more and more I talk to him, the more and more I realize how stupid you guys are, because there are just little things that you can do to make your relationships great, and you don't do them. Hey, Romeo, good morning. I have a compromise for you. Go to the laundromat, and then after the laundromat, go grab some drinks with your wife. I mean, I like to hang out with my wife over a couple of drinks rather than some guys. Yeah. Well, Ruben's not talking about himself. Ruben doesn't mind doing everything with his wife. In fact, they do everything together. But Ruben said he met some guy at the laundromat who was complaining that he had to come to the laundromat with his wife. He met another guy, and that's when Ruben said, well, I bet if your buddies asked you to go out for drinks, you'd be down for that. And she said, yeah. The guy said, yeah. So it was somebody Ruben had met, not Ruben himself. But I agree with you. I mean, I agree with everything that you're saying. Good morning, Now. What's going on?
Rome, he should be happy that she actually wants to hang out with him. She could be at that laundromat texting some other man that does want to give her attention. I'm just saying, like, she could be texting someone else that's going to give her the attention that she's seeking.
You know, yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't understand this. I don't understand it, but I'm smarter than these guys.
Honestly, Rome, I've been listening to you since I was in high school. I don't think you're harsh on us. I think you're honest, and some people don't like honesty. And because that's the narcissistic traits they have, they think they're okay, but they always play victim. So you're fine, Rome. Whoever that person was, excuse me, my language. Calm the heck down.
All right.
Stop being dumb, and Rome won't call you out. Shit.
I know.
I mean, sorry.
If you don't act stupid, I don't have to call you stupid.
Right?
That's funny. Hey, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. You know, you wonder why. Some of you guys wonder, why you don't get what you want out of a relationship. She don't do this, she don't do that. Well, that's because you don't do a damn thing. How about you doing a little something, right? How about you putting in a little effort? A little more effort. How about you putting in a little effort? Remember, like we said earlier, jumping through some hoops. If the guy doesn't jump through hoops for you in the honeymoon phase, when you've just dated, when you supposedly are interested the most in somebody, if they're not jumping for hoops for you, they're never going to jump through hoops for you. And I always go back to the same thing, to every single guy that ever says, my wife don't give me no sex. Well, did she give you sex when you were staying up till 4 a.m, when you first started dating and you had to be at work at 6? She gave it to you then, huh? Because you were going out of your way for her. And now you want the same treatment, but you don't want to go out of your way for her. Same thing goes for you women. So don't think I'm going to exclude you out this nonsense. You were more than happy to do certain things, dress a certain way, act a certain way when it was new and fresh. And now you don't want to act that way because, he put a ring on it, so I don't have to do this anymore. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't have to do that anymore. And when you're thinking about a relationship like that, you guys both deserve what you get. There's no other way around it. You deserve to be miserable in that relationship.
Good morning, Romeo. What's up?
Everything's up. What's going on? Good morning.
Up. I'm sitting here listening to you talk about, how men and women, they stop doing certain things after, X amount of time. And it's because, now, I'm sorry, but recently I've learned that the guys are princesses. They want to be treated like princesses. They don't want to do the manly things. Vice versa, women don't want to do the women things, and everyone's independent, and everyone's there. I'm my own person, and for women, I'm my own person. I could do whatever I want. I'm an alpha woman. And then they want to date these men who are princesses and want to be treated like it. And I deserve this and I deserve that. But everyone stops doing what they need to do. You know what I mean?
I agree with you to a certain extent. But yes, okay. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, because
you can't
I've been with my...
You can't be, and I'm going to just, as you put it, you can't be an alpha woman and then expect some dude to do everything for you and be treated like a princess. Okay, that's not how life works. It's not. Those two things are not going to coexist in any possible way. So I agree with you. Yeah.
Right, and then the men that are like, well, you act too strong and too independent. Well, give her that softness.
Yeah.
I don't think you've given her that chance to be soft. I mean, that's something that I have with my husband. I've been with him almost 10 years, and I came from being so independent to then being soft, and then we had, these hurdles that we had to get through where I started that fight or flight again, and I'm like, if I can't do it, nobody's going to do it for me,
Yeah,
and that's not how it should be being married. Like, even my husband, we had that time where I was like, he was like, hey, you don't do this no more. And I was like, well, you don't give me the need to want to do it. Like, I have to want to do it, and I don't because you don't cut the damn grass. Or, you don't do this, and I'm sitting here cooking dinner and cleaning your dirty underwear, and it's like, what about what I need? You want this, but you can't give this, So I'm sitting here listening to that.
Well, you're right about that. That I 100% agree with you. There is a fine balance of this whole archaic idea of he goes to work and she's in the kitchen. Okay, yes, that is not real. We've moved way past that, but there's also a balance. What's that?
We are so past those times.
You're right.
And we would look at me. I would love to be in the freaking kitchen all day. I would love to be a stay-at-home mommy, stay-at-home wife and clean the house and wear high heels in the kitchen when you get home. I would love that. I really, really would. If you make the money and you can support our entire family and our bills and still allow me to have that freedom of, hey, I feel like going shopping today.
Yes,
you want me to clean the kitchen and you want to have dinner and this is what you want and you want me to please give me that. Give me that. But we don't live in those times anymore.
Well,
we live in the times where the men are like, it's 50-50. Well, if it's 50-50, I'm going to have 50% of the attitude.
Yes. You're right. You're right. I totally agree with you. But there is still a balance there. I mean, there is nothing wrong with cooking. There's nothing. We got to eat. There's nothing wrong with cleaning. There's nothing wrong with mowing the lawn. There's all these things that cause problems, like you said, these traditional gender roles. They can still be there. The attitude that you have about it has to change. And that's where I say, because I always say this. If you can cook and you're a stay-at-home wife, and this is what I argue about guys with all the time. Your wife stays at home, she cooks, and then you come home on Wednesday and she goes, I don't want to cook. And you go, nope, you have to cook your stay-at-home, as opposed to, well, let's go get something to eat then. The guys, that attitude is what changes the dynamic of those traditional gender roles and can allow people to still feel important in the relationship. I mean, yeah, all right.
Right, my husband, he'll get upset. He threw that at me one time. I was at work all day, normal, 8 to 5, got off. Got my daughter, stopped at the grocery store. Dinner wasn't ready, and he just came home. I know he had a hard day. I get it. I'm an understanding person. He was upset. He's like, dinner's still not done? Mind you, he got home at 6 o'clock. I was off of work at 5. Had to pick my daughter up from after school. Got home, started cooking, and he was like, dinner's still not ready? I looked at him, and I said, excuse the S out of me. I said, you want to get in the kitchen and start cooking?
Yeah.
You want to get in here and start cooking? Your laundry's going already. You're welcome. I've been here for 15 minutes, bro. The water hasn't even started boiling. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I agree with you. I tell my husband, you can't expect all of this from me, like a superhero, like the house is clean, the dinner's going to be ready, I'm working a full-time job, I'm getting our daughter, I'm doing all of this. You can't expect me to have dinner ready in 15 minutes unless you want some dang spaghetti noodles and sauce. And I'm not that kind of cook.
You're absolutely right. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
You know, and even I can't unrealistically, I can't expect a lot from him either. You know, he does work his long hours, and he gets maybe 1 or 2 days off a week. On that one day off, I have his entire day planned, and he'll get upset, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back because you're right. It's your only day off, and I want you up at 7 in the morning, and we're going to Home Depot, and then we got to go to Walmart, and I want to stop at the Ross, and I can't expect that from him on his only day off. You know.
But I will say this, and not to get too much longer into this, but if that's the day off and that's when you can get that stuff done, then you got to get that stuff done. But but that's my point. My point behind this whole idea of how you feel about things. We can still have traditional gender roles within our household, but you also have to understand that sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and we got to do something different. And that's why I have the problem.
Doing laundry. My husband started doing his laundry sometimes, and he'll be like, hey, I just put my work clothes to wash. Don't worry about it. I'll dry it. And, you know, that's not traditional. You know, men are like, the laundry? I'm not doing that. I sit there and I brag. Yes, my husband does laundry. Yes, he sure does. He sure does. If I have to fix the vacuum, I will fix the vacuum. Okay. We're not traditional. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got to jump. Thanks for calling.
Have a good day.
But it's the idea of how you feel about it. There are women out there that won't cook out of spite. I mean, they would starve her and her husband out of spite because of the concept of, a woman doesn't belong in the kitchen. Well, whoever can cook belongs in the kitchen because we got to eat somehow, right? Whether it's a man or a woman. But the idea is, if you know how to cook and you want to provide for your family in the kitchen, there's nothing wrong with that. It's when somebody tells you you have to do it is when that causes the problem. Because if you feel like you're doing it because you want to do it, that's different than your husband telling you to do it. Okay? That's the idea of when I say we can have traditional gender roles, we just have to think about them differently in the way that we manage them. Hey, Rome, I got a question. My kids are all grown up. Now my wife and I can't get along. I'm so ready to be alone. My whole life married was everything being my fault. So I just want to move to another state and start over. Is that selfish of me? No. I mean, you've done your job. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There's more to the story, but if I'm just going to go based on what you said, it's always your fault. You've done your job. Your kids are raised. You've met your commitment to your wife and family. If you want to move to another state and start over and start the second chapter in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not being selfish. Hey, Rome, Ruben's big-ass drawers broke the washer. Oh, my gosh. You guys are too much. Hey, Rome, why is the bride smiling when she walks down the aisle? Because she knows she's given her last. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you have that type of attitude, you know exactly. You guys know the joke, right? There's two reasons you don't have to do certain things in a relationship. One is because you make enough money, and two is because you got married. And these are like stereotypes that people have when they get into their marriages. I don't got to do that no more. Well, then I guess if things don't go the way you want it, that's part of it's on you. You know what I'm saying? With that type of attitude that once I get married, I don't have to do whatever your X, Y, and Z is, then you got a problem. And you deserve whatever you get.
Man, Romeo, that last caller, that lady could talk.
She can talk, yeah.
You know, if she cleaned and cooked as much as she talked, there would be no argument with her and her husband, I bet.
Okay.
But you know what? I don't expect my wife to do anything. You know, I know all these women want to feel equal until it's time to mow the yard or change the tire. But when I got in my relationship, I found out my wife couldn't cook. So I was like, you know what? Raider Dave's not about to starve. So I'll cook. I don't mind cooking. And if she's too busy and I like my house clean, I'll clean the house. So, you know, it's different.
Yeah, it sounds like you're a little bee.
A what?
Sounds like you're a little punk.
No, not at all. You know, I told you this once before. Happy wife, happy life. You know, I'm not.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But okay, all right, Raider Dave. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay, It's no, anybody that believes that deserves to be a miserable, you know what? You deserve to be miserable. If that's your logic in life, that happy wife, happy life, and you're going to let her dictate how you're going to let her dictate the happiness in your marriage, you're a moron, okay? But it goes the other way too. If you're going to let your husband dictate the temperature of your marriage, you're a moron. It's stupid. People, men and women in relationships who get married can coexist happily and have great lives together. Okay? To let one or the other dictate your happiness or the relationship's happiness is stupid. And there's no excuse for it. And if that's how you want to live, you deserve to be miserable. All right, 842-547-7. I totally forgot what I was going to say now that Raider Dave got me into that. Hey, Rome, who's more of the idiot, Seahawk Lou or Raider Dave? Wow. Yeah. They're both the same. They're both the same dumbass. I don't think one's more of an idiot than the other. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
What's up, Romeo?
Hey.
It's me again. Raider Dave, you're dumb as hell. You are dumb as hell, okay? Happy wife, happy life, my big ass, okay? I cook, I clean. My husband ain't almost 300 pounds for no damn reason, okay?
Oh, that's hilarious.
If he wants to be poked around by his wife, and I'll cook and I'll clean the house. You probably aren't working, Raider Dave. You probably aren't working.
Oh, that's
why
hilarious.
you're cleaning and cooking. Okay, I don't know what she's over here. Her husband wouldn't be mad if she cooked and cleaned the way she said. Shut up.
Yeah.
Your wife's going to be mad if dinner's not ready by 6. That's what I heard.
Hey, Rome. So I know it's a topic about husbands and wives. You know, I've been with my husband 20 years, and we both work full time, and we both make about the same amount of money, but he expects everything to be 50-50 all the time. And when times get hard, he starts saying that I don't pay the same amounts as him just because he pays mortgage and one lump sum. I pay all the other bills and all the expenses, food. We go grocery shopping. He does 1 week. I do another week. We have kids and a couple of dogs. So, yeah, it's okay for him to expect 50-50 everything, 50-50 everything, even though he's the man of the house. What do you think? Also, we pay for almost all our trips and Dodger games. Well, at least you go on trips and Dodger games together, so you must love each other or like each other at least. I am what I think is any man who says we have to go 50-50 is a loser. I don't believe in that at all. I was not raised that way. I was raised by my father to pay for everything that you need to live. House, electric, water, car payments. In his mind, those are the things you need to the food. Although I think food goes either way when it comes to, especially to people that have incomes. Food goes either way because sometimes you want something or sometimes it's just somebody has the time to go to the store and somebody does it. So that's what I'm at. And I think anybody who's over here trying to put 50-50 on a relationship it's one of the worst things you can do in your relationship. Because what happens when you say our relationship needs to be 50-50, you're keeping score. And once you're keeping score in your relationship, what kind of relationship are you in? So what do I think about? I think your husband's a jackass, and I think he needs to step up and take care of things and pay for more. And I just think, but that's how I was raised. Now, you can argue, and I don't blame you guys. You can argue that, well, it's expensive to live. Sometimes, we need both incomes to survive, which is fine. But when you're keeping score in your relationship, nobody wins. Because one person thinks they're ahead, the other person thinks they're behind. There's no way to actually agree on who's doing what. And when you're doing that, it makes you feel like you're being taken advantage of, And that's just insecurity and stupidity. You're married. Okay. Now you can sit there and say all day long, hey, Rome, we're equal. We got to, we got all our money's in the bank account. It's all this, it's all that. But no, somebody always feels like they're getting when it's 50-50. So that's why I think that's one of the stupidest things you can do in your relationship. And we're actually going to talk about this tomorrow, the cost of being in a relationship, because I think that you guys feel like being in a relationship, it costs something. And you're not being taken advantage of. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of in a relationship, you shouldn't be in one. And people who feel like they're always being taken advantage of or don't want to be taken advantage of will never find a good relationship. You see these guys out here and these girls out here going, well, I got to find this type of person to be with who's not going to take advantage of me. Well, okay, you do. You're right, you do. But when that's what you're basing everything on, you've already lost. What'd you send me here? 842-547-7 Rome. You got to understand, dumbass Raider Dave is used to cleaning his cell, and his wife is used to paying the bills. This is used to paying the bills. That's why he's cooking and cleaning, Rome. That's why he's always says happy wife, happy life, because she holds it down. Siak Lou probably the same way. But it's just stupid. I mean, it's just stupid. That to live by that motto, to live by that is idiotic, or vice versa. Once again, to let your partner determine the temperature of your relationship is stupid. Who lives like that? You deserve to be miserable if that's what you believe. Just like 50-50. 50-50 is keeping score. Once you're keeping score, you've already lost. Hey, Rome. Hey, this is Siak Lou. I haven't even gave my input on this situation and why they bashing me for. But I do agree with happy wife, happy life. Well, once again, because in Seahawk Lou's life, his wife's the breadwinner. That fool don't got no job, so he's got to do what she says. You know what I'm saying? Money plays a part. It does. But when you use money to control somebody, that's where the problem is, You think it's your money. It's not your money. It's our money. And that's why I always say about the 50-50. Any man who doesn't pay for all the bills for living, okay, living expenses, house, cars, electricity, TV, water, those things the man should pay for. Because you would have to pay for those things if you lived alone anyways. So why would you all of a sudden get into a relationship and go, you know what? You got to chip in now. That's selfish and stupid. It's insecure. It's you got some problems. Well, Rome, what if she takes advantage of me? What if she moves in and then 2 months later or a year later she moves out, man? She took advantage of me all that time. So what? So what? You lost nothing. You lost absolutely nothing because you had to pay all those expenses anyways. That's my logic behind that. And plus, that's what my dad taught me. You take care of your family. You pay for your family. That's what you do. When you go out to dinner, you pay. Now, egos start to get involved. And this is where women cause just as many problems in the relationships because their egos can't handle the fact that, oh, he just bought us all dinner. Well, he's your damn husband. Who cares if he bought you dinner? Oh, well, he's your boyfriend. Who cares? He's supposed to buy you dinner. That's not what men should not need a woman's money. That's just bottom line. Hey, Romeo, what kind of degree do you have in relationships? Why do people listen to you? Are you really the best person to be telling people how to live in their relationship? People are different. They like different things. Why are they asking you? Because I'm smarter than you. That's why. There's two reasons. One, I'm smarter than you. And two, I don't have a dog in this fight. I can tell you guys exactly what to do because I don't have to deal with you other than, when you text me. But no, that's why. And I'm just smarter than you. I know more than you. I'm more experienced than all of you. It's Romeo. It's Hot 94, and I'm happier than all of you. What did you send me here? Hey, Romeo, I got to tell you a funny story about when a woman moves in with a guy. My parents taught me the same way. My dad was a very hard worker. Now, my mom was a stay-at-home mom and raised 3 of us on my dad's salary. So my mom was a great mom, took care of the house, fed us, took care of us, did the house duties, and that's how it worked in my house. My dad, though, was never... I don't know what you're trying... was never an overlord? Is that what you're trying to say? He never threw money in my mom's face. It was whatever my mom wanted to take care of us kids and the house, and he was happy with that. So when I moved out and got into a relationship, I talked to my mom and dad, and they told me, you pay for everything, just like your mom and dad told you, Rome. Okay. When my girlfriend moved in, she's now my wife. She was one of those independent women that didn't need a man, that could pay her own bills. When she moved in with me, she wanted to pay her portion of the household expenses. I told her that's not necessary. I'm your boyfriend. I got it. Don't worry about it. There was a little bit of a struggle with her, but she accepted it. I told her, you just use your money for you and we'll be fine. After a year, Rome, believe it or not, this woman started buying groceries. She started cooking for me when I was coming home. She changed her attitude of being in a relationship. Now, I never asked her for any of that. I just let her be herself. But after having a man who was willing and wanted to take care of her, she was willing and wanted to take care of me. She started buying me clothes, and her money was used for both of us, just in a different way than basic household bills. I wish more people could understand that. I wish more people could understand that too. Because believe it or not, you guys are trying so hard to not be taken advantage of, or to not put yourself out there, or to keep score, and your lives suck. Okay? Sucks for you. Hey, good morning, Rome. I bet that dude, the dude that sent you that was crying while typing because he has happy wife, happy life tattooed on his forehead, and his wife left him. Y'all better bow down to Romeo because he's the king of the truth. Keep spreading the truth, bro. Somebody's got to, you don't want anybody to lie to you, right? I mean, right? Already 42547. But the reality is, I'm not some badass it's just I have no dog in your fight when it comes to your relationship. I can tell women and men why you're stupid, because I'm not trying to sleep with you, and one, I don't have any real consequence, and I'm not lying to you. I'm not telling you something crazy. I'm telling you how to be happier with your partner, and it works both ways. Rome, I understand that a man will have to pay all the bills regardless if he's in a relationship or not, but don't women have to pay bills regardless also? Why in a relationship does the woman get a free ride? Aren't they equal, or a woman or are women less? You can't tell if you are a feminist. You can't tell if you are a feminist or a sexist. It's not. What you're saying is stupid. Okay. You're calling it a free ride. What's the free ride? That they don't have to pay? You're basing it on financials? That's what you're basing it on? That's the way you've decided that it's free, right? Based on finances. So if I make plenty of money to pay for everything and she can do whatever she wants with her money, that's sexist or feminist? Or that's a free? Why should she be able to do that and I can't? Because I'm already doing it? Maybe because I want to? Maybe because when you treat somebody like that, you'll realize that they will do stuff for you because they want to. You guys want to keep score. So just because you can't afford it and you need a woman's help, That's on you, bro. Maybe you should be a better man. It's not about being sexist or feminist. It's about the idea that if you do something for somebody because you want to do that, they will do stuff for you because they want to do it for you. She'll spend her money on stuff for your relationship. Trips, clothes, things like that. Decor for the house so you don't look like you don't have a sad house. Doesn't look like a frat house. That's where you're playing checkers and I'm playing chess. Now you're in a relationship where people want to do stuff for each other, not having to do stuff for each other because we made rules.
Romeo in the Morning.
Every morning.
On Hot 94.1.